What's up, guys? I'm Dmitry here at Thermal. Wow, I was expecting that. I've done that to him, so that was very nice. Caught me out guard. Well done, Eber. All right, so we're here at Thermaltake. As usual, they have a bunch of awesome mods, builds that we're gonna show you guys later. But this, my friends, is the new level 20 family. We got a few siblings for their level 20 ginormous case. Make sure to check out the full little overview that we did at CES. But this thing has now evolved into these three little guys. But before we tell you about those, huge thanks to Thermaltake, Phanteks and Cooler Master for making this trip possible. All right, so let's start with the level 20 GT. So this thing, obviously it carries a similar design language as the original level 20. Very wide body, space gray materials. This is all steel and plastic construction and tempered glass on the top, the front, and both sides. So 4 side panel tempered glass. The only thing we need now later is a tempered glass for the back. I mean, who hasn't done yet? Will we see that? Hopefully, maybe. But here we have 200 millimeter. So for the front, we have 200 millimeter fans that can also be installed at the top. Now the tempered glass here obviously is a little bit of a choking thing, but they have narrowed the tempered glass, so there are a little bit of spacing here that will also increase in the final production, so we can get nice airflow intake from the front. And the same thing for the exhausting ones at the top. I can feel a lot of air coming out from these tiny little sections. I'm surprised by that. But it will also be slightly expanded for the final release. The I/O here is separated into 2, so all our power buttons here, and then the USBs are here with a USB Type-C Gen 2 at 60 millimeters for the actual length of the cable, which is awesome, so you can route it whatever you want, especially for a case that is this large, so that's great. Now both side panels feature this swivel mechanism with the old school locking mechanism too. They are magnetic. They simply just attach to the side, which is awesome. And the reason why this case is so wide is because you can rotate the GPU section, so you can have your standard GPU vertically or horizontally, or you can simply rotate that GPU bracket and have all those PCI lanes vertically, which is kind of cool. It's definitely an expansion of this the whole dual slot for the vertical for the frame, but now the whole PCI area can be rotated to accommodate this direction. The power supply shroud only covers half of the case. The rest of it can be used to populate water cooling components. So that's obviously Thermaltake's approach, because the whole thing about this one is water cooling, gigantic radiators, lots of space for all types of stuff. And here we also have the side radiator mount, where you can mount a 420 millimeter radiator. So lots of options, and yeah, quite wide. Let me know what you guys think about the level 20 GT. So the level 20 GT price-wise is $189 without any fans. So let me know what you think about that price point. And $289, so $100 more for dual 200 millimeter fans and one 140 exhaust. So now let's move on to the level 20 XT. So this one is joking around, a little fat uncle going on over here. Very unconventional, but it is based on the Core X9 frame. So if you've been eyeing the Core X9 and actually like the whole tempered glass approach that has that characteristics of the level 20, then this, my friends, is your pick. The I/O is filled, 4 USBs, 1 Type-C, 60 millimeter cable here. Again, these cases are so wide, so we can have 200 millimeter fans on the front and the top. The top has a really awesome bracket. But here the front, as you can see, we also have these gaps between the tempered glass, so the airflow can enter. It is slightly choked off, but potentially they'll open this up a little bit more for the final release. The pricing is not yet available, but the cool thing about this one is it's an e-atx form factor, and the motherboard is not, it's not sitting there like you would on other cases. The motherboard is staying horizontal, which means you have to have this sort of wide form factor to accommodate for it. e-atx motherboards and XL ATX motherboards are supported with additional brackets that potentially may be included to expand that motherboard area. And the whole thing here is, like, if you want a ultimate water cooling build, load this thing with lots of fans, and if you have the space for something like the XT, it's a possibility, especially because of that horizontal motherboard location. If you're populating multiple graphics cards, that is a popular spot when the motherboard is laying flat, so there is no that additional stress on the on the PCI slots. Now behind the glass at the top here is this giant mesh filter. It's not necessarily for airflow because dust will still accumulate on top of the glass, but it is to cover up this interior because otherwise it'll feel too open, and so this one kind of closes it off. I do like this approach, and you can also remove it, and this is how you access the top filter, fan bracket, excuse me, so you can mount all your types of fans, 420 and even 480 millimeter radiators up top. So potentially you can have 2 brackets for like an extreme water cooling system. This thing can accommodate dual power supplies, or you can have a power supply and a giant radiator at the bottom, or a combination of like something smaller in front of the power supply. So it is tall, it is wide, it is big. That's the XT. All right, so the final sibling of the Level 20 family is the Level 20 VT. It is based on the core V21 enclosure, so it is micro ATX based. And so here we have, again, 4 panels of tempered glass. And the cool thing about the 3 panels here are they're interchangeable, so you can potentially swap this panel for here, because one of them 2 of the panels are slightly spaced out to allow for airflow to either exit or intake. And so here we have a 240 millimeter radiator right now set to exhaust, a micro ATX motherboard with a vertical GPU bracket, a single 200 millimeter fan, one 40 millimeter exhaust fan, power supply at the bottom. You can mount 6 hard drives in here with 3 SSDs, and then 3 additional hard drives. So if you're potentially looking again for that horizontal motherboard mount for micro ATX system, the VT obviously it has that same characteristics, similar spacing on the front panel to allow that front airflow to enter, and the spacing for the other panels for that airflow to exit. No Type-C at the front. However, this VT is a $99 price point with a single 200mm fan included. So it's nice to have more micro ATX options available on the market, and it's kind of cool to have this like lineup of Level 20 family micro ATX, this gigantic thing of the XT, and then the GT over there. All right, good people, so that is the new Level 20 line, GT, XT, VT, nice little, range of enclosures. And one thing that we do have to appreciate with this naming scheme, I mean, it's 2 letters, right? So as long as you memorize those, it's not like a gigantic 30-word model name. So thank you for that Thermaltake. All right, guys, so that's it. Let us know what you think of these 3 cases in the comments below, and which of these would you like us to review. I'm Dimitri. Thanks so much for watching. Check out these other relevant videos, and we'll see you in the next video.